Good morning, guys. Good morning. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel where we discuss South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. 1,500 subscribers. Yay! Thank you guys for being here with me. It would be super lonely without you. And as soon as we reach a good number like 50k subscribers, I will certainly be on that camera so that you interact on a channel of someone whose face you are familiar with. And I know that we don't always agree, but we do have the comment section for that so that we debate over issues. So with that set aside, there is something that I'd like us to look at, which is Miss South Africa, with the contestant of focus being Vanessa Chidima Onu. I promise you, I didn't want to do this content, but it just refuses to leave. Instead, it's growing and growing. So South Africans are rejecting the participation of Chidima Vanessa Onu, saying no, she's not South African. It came after they saw her name. They were like, all these names are not South African. And then they later discovered that the mother is from Mozambique and the father is from Nigeria. They were like, no, she's not South African. She cannot represent us. Now, whatever views you have over the issue, because I know that it's not only Mozambicans and Nigerians that want Vanessa to participate. There are a lot of South Africans who are saying, no, what, this girl has every right to participate. So whatever side we are on, let's look at this with a very level head. So now we're going to see someone who's always vocal about issues of immigration and Africans, who is Julius Malema. He was asked a question about Vanessa Onu's participation in Miss South Africa in one podcast. So I'm going to put a clip here, and then we come back and discuss, because there are two videos of Malema that I'm going to post. Is the one when we are answering the question on Chidima's participation on Miss South Africa, and also there's another video clip of him when he was asked about Duduzile and Duduzane Zuma, who were born in Mozambique and as they are South Africans. So people are like, no, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot answer like this and then answer like this. So let us see. And also we're going to discuss the people's views that they have shared to see if are they valid or they're just they're just off the rail. So let's watch Julius Malema.
Your citizenship is determined by where you were born. So if she was born here, she's South African. It doesn't matter who they are. She's not her parents. She's herself. So why do you want to say she's from Nigeria or she's from Mozambique? She was born here. In America, actually, I don't know how many months. If I'm not wrong, if you are 6 months pregnant or so, they don't allow you to visit. Because they know that once you visit and you stay there and you give birth there, that child is American. That
was Julius Malema's response to a question of whether Chidima's entry in Miss South Africa is valid or not. Before I add this other clip when he was responding to a question about Duduzile and Duduzane, please don't forget what he said, because that is going to be very important when we read the response of people to that video on Twitter after they listen to what he said. There are responses from South Africans, and there's just one response that came from somebody from Nigeria, and that one responded in a very different manner. So also that one I'm going to put here so that you digest it yourself, dissect it and digest whatever. Right, let us hear what he said, what Julius Malema said when it was time to talk about Duduzile and Duduzane Zuma.
But that boy fella is not a South African proper. What Duduzane, his mother is Kate, and Kate was Zuma's wife who committed suicide. They are born Mozambican, Duduzane and Duduzile. They can't speak Zulu, those two kids. They can't speak any South African vernacular. So they are from Mozambique. They stayed in Swaziland, they stayed in Zimbabwe, then they came to reside here with their father in South Africa. So for Tutuzani to leave a country is very easy because they don't have a history of settling in one place. That's why procurement of an apartment in Dubai and application of citizenship to them was easy like that, because their loyalty and patriotism is not with South Africa. That's why that boy could do as he wished, because it's not his country of birth. They were not born here.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's okay.
Now, according to the videos that we just watched of Julius Malema, he is saying a place of birth is more important than who your parents are. And Vanessa has every right to participate in Miss South Africa as she was born here, regardless of who her parents are, as we know that the mother is from Mozambique and the father is from Nigeria. And with Tutuzane and Tutuzile Zuma, even though their father is South African and former president of this country, they are not 100% South African because they were born in Mozambique and grew up in Mozambique. You process that yourself. I am not going to be saying anything on that one. But this is where the fun begins now. I'm going to post the responses of people after watching Julius Malema's video on Twitter. I want to start with the one from somebody from Nigeria, because that one looked like she dug deep. There were many responses from Nigeria too, but I don't want to take the rest because it's just your normal fights of Twitter, and then I'm going to post those of South Africans. But I'm going to start with the one from Nigeria. This one responded with a very long response, so I had to divide it into 3 parts. So the first 3 slides of responses are going to be from the same person. I am Nigerian and I do not agree with Malema's idea, even though I respect him for always protecting black people. Even if you were born on my land, I wouldn't support you participating in certain things that are supposed to be reserved for real indigenous of the land. This should be valid for whites and Asians in South Africa. What I am just worried about is how fast South African youths unite against letter masters like this, but never have united against Europeans and Asians who come all the way from their continents to destroy you in every way and still treat you like slaves in your own land. Your fight is not balanced and is strange. Can we say you are so scared of those? Bottom line, a foreigner shouldn't contest in things that represent the people like politics, beauty pageants, etc. And that should be valid for whites and Asians too, not just black people. So you can continue reading the responses of the people to that video. I've decided to read the first response only because I had to divide it in different parts. So I wanted you to understand clearly that it came from the same person. But these ones I'm not going to be reading. You'll be able to read them on the screen. You do read and process it yourself and come out with your own conclusion. And hoping I will see you in the comment section. So this is what we're currently having in South Africa now. Debating about Miss SA with the lady of concern being Chidima Vanessa Onwe being not accepted by South Africans as the contestant in Miss SA. Please do note that since Julius Malema said Chidima Vanessa Onwe is South African by birth, he cannot come against white people saying they are not South Africans as they were born here. So yeah, man, it's interesting times. And if you watched up to here, please do note that this is South Africa Lately, a channel where we discuss South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Do have a beautiful Sunday, and thank you for watching my videos.